Okay everyone, getting the maintenance done on the truck. I decided to go on ahead and get some upgrades ready to go. They are all stock dimensions for all the parts that I got. However, they're improved. So I got most everything through Rock Auto. It's a company called TTX, and these are the Terrain Tough Extreme versions. I think that's what TTX stands for anyways. So they've got a really cool finish on them. Looks like it's nice and tough, and that green will really pop underneath the truck as well. But the nice thing is they all already have the ball joints built in, and they're already pre-installed, and they're all greasable. So that's an important thing as well. So I'll be able to take care of it and re-grease them as things go wrong. So the parts we've got lower control arms, upper control arms, sway bar links, new hubs with improved bearings, tie rod ends, and I've got some extended travel CV axles for the front. These are also a lot beefier. So the ones that are on there are still the stock ones, even though Rocky Ridge did the 6-inch lift and put 35s on it. They, for whatever reason, decided the stock ones were going to be fine. So I'm going to go on ahead and upgrade those as well. And we're also doing an oil change. We're about to take this truck down to Big Bend. So it's going to go from Ohio all the way down to Texas. I'm going to get the truck some street shoes. Got some 33s to put on it. I did save the old 20-inch rims that came on it, and so those wheels will now get some 33s on them with a much longer warranty rather than these extreme terrains that only have a 40,000 mile warranty. Now I do love these tires. They do great off-road, but driving on balloon tires to and from work is not a whole lot of fun, and I do not enjoy the idea of going all the way down to Texas on balloon tires. So we're going to get some 33s thrown on it. That's over at Carlisle Auto and Tire right now. They were able to get me in very, very quickly, so thank you so much to them. And they were able to find a really good deal on tires for me. So other than that, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's go. Okay, first things first, we get the truck up in the air, just high enough to where the wheels can come off. Over on the right side first, and then over on the left side. Can't help but to do the install pattern on the bolts as I'm taking it off as well. Roll those out of the way, get the bolt off of the tie rod end, and then here is one of my awesome neighbors, voted as lighting engineer for the day, coming in to save the day so you can see what I'm working on. Brake caliper comes off, then the GM bolt that keeps the rotor in comes out, wheel hub comes out, and then there's a little dust cover gasket that I don't know where it came from. And here's another one of my neighbors. This is actually his garage that he lets me use to do all these crazy projects. And if you've never had a stuck pickle fork, I don't think you've ever worked on suspension. So this one comes out pretty easy. The other side did not. I have a purple finger to still show from punching the truck as I slipped. Got the nice knuckle pulled out, cleaned up, and then spray painted with underbody rust stop paint. And then noticed that the upper control arm required the shock to be removed to be able to pull it out. Got the upper shock put in, or the upper control arm put in. All right, folks, this is why you take your time and pay attention to what you're doing. Somehow I put in the lower control arm upside down. Don't know how I missed it, but got everything back apart because it wasn't going together properly because it was upside down. So, gonna pull it out, flip it over, and then go get back to it. So, now I go on ahead and get the lower control arm installed correctly. Tighten the control arm bolts, which you have to hold the outside bolts still and only rotate the inside bolts so you don't mess up the cam discs. Get the shock reinstalled, the knuckle back in and up, just feed that on through. Use a transmission lift to be able to get that top control arm connected while protecting everything down below. Get the sway bar link put in, and just continue putting things back together. Use a through wrench to hold the bolt, keep the ball from spinning, and just make sure you're only tightening the bolt, not spinning the ball in the ball joint. Go through, just going to make sure everything's tight. Tighten the upper and lower control arm ball joints to make sure that the cotter pin can go through. All right, new shirt, new day. Went until about 12:20 last night. Got most everything done. My own mistakes were the reason that it took so long. Probably made the biggest goofball mistake I've ever made, working on a car, putting the lower control arm upside down, even though the front bushing didn't really fit where it was supposed to go. It's probably a non-zero chance that the reason for that design was to keep people from trying to do that. They've never met me. Anyways, so got it reversed, got it put back in there, got it all put back together. But around 12:20, I was forgetting where tools were, where parts went, just because I was so tired. So went ahead, called it a night, started new today. Called off work so that I could get this done so that we can leave tomorrow. So I've got everything back together. Everything is torqued except for the axle nut. I'm waiting for a buddy to come by with a torque wrench and go up to 199 foot-pounds because this needs to be torqued to 135, backed off 45, retightened to 150, then backed off 45, then retightened to 199 foot-pounds. So always a good idea to have a buddy help you with that. I've got the lug nuts on here so that we can get a breaker bar or a pry bar in here to hold the wheel stable while I torque on the other side. So that should be good. Let me come grab the camera so I can show you guys how this new setup looks. I think it looks really nice. So in here, we've got the new TTX lower. That's a really cool green color. I think from the front of the truck, it's gonna look really nice. We've got the Dorman Auto heavy duty greasable fitting tie rod end. Went ahead and paint marked where that was supposed to go, so that should be where it was. Well, roughly. I'm gonna go have it aligned, obviously. So back in here, we've got the TTX upper control arm with a greasable fitting. I got the lock pin through there to keep it from backing itself out. Down here, we've got, everybody was out of stock of the TTX sway bar link, so I went ahead and put that in there. It's just a Duralast Gold, which greasable fittings, everything in there. It's nice. It's way more heavy duty than the original OEM stuff, so looks like it'll fit in there just fine. And it's at full extension, so I'm not worried at all about that grease fitting. So this is as far down as it'll extend anyways. Shouldn't have any worries down there. So got that all nice and in there. This, by the way, was a bit of a bear to install. The nuts have like 3 little thread lock leaves on the front side of them, and those are a pain to try to tighten, especially if you don't have a through hole wrench, which I don't. So I was just using a shallow mount Harbor Freight style wrench with an Allen wrench through it to keep it still. So that took a while. The other thing is we've got over here the extended travel CV axle. So that one is way more beefy than the original. Fits in there nicely. I wondered when I first got it why it tapered down at the end instead of being nice and thick all the way through, but obviously once you install it, you realize it's got to go through things. So that's why it was like that. But the install seemed to have gone well, as all things considered. Went ahead and covered up some of the rust with some rust converter. And it's going to look really, really nice when it's all done. So next thing to do is just to go start disassembling the other side. Okay, just as is usually the case, the other side goes easier than the first side you start with. So we already knew some of the trouble we were going to have, and we were able to just kind of breeze through it pretty easily. Only one smashed finger with a wrench slip off, but got all this undone. So we're all the way down to pulling the top control arm, and we're going to go on ahead and get the all the new stuff put on here in just a second. So things are moving smoothly. So the TTX upper control arms, they have this cool TTX logo put onto them. And again, they've got this really nice coating. All the parts feel super premium. And they also include new bolts in the bag. So that's really nice as well. This is also where your cotter pin is to keep the bolt where it should be. And the grease fitting that they put in the bag so it doesn't break in shipping. So we're going ahead and get this in place and get things moving. Okay, a lot of stuff about the same as the other side. Getting the upper control arm installed. Then I'll get the shock back in once again, using the transmission lift just as an extra set of hands almost. I did paint mark the alignment discs that are up front, the cam discs, just to make sure that I got it somewhat close. But again, as you'll see later, I get it aligned after I get all this installed. So once again, hold those outside bolts still while you rotate the inside nut to finish it. And I get the spacers and everything and all lined up for the shock mount on the bottom. And then tight working spaces up top to get that shock mounted and in place. So keeping the transmission lift underneath it the whole time to make sure it doesn't get out of alignment. I did clear out anything that was inside. I didn't actually see any rings get left over in the transaxle where the CV axle connects up to. But then I just continue going and getting everything put back together. All right, now I'm putting on the Duralast Gold sway bar link. The other side of this was a huge pain in the butt, as I think I already explained. So we will see if this side's any easier. Highly doubt it. I still have my sway bar bushing disconnected just so I've got a little bit of play with it. Once I'm done with this, I'll go on ahead and reconnect that. Need to go put on the grease fittings first. So they come with these little plugs in them to help protect them. Just keep any dust or anything from getting in there. But again, these are breakable in shipping, so they don't typically ship them in there. Almost all of these come pre-greased. I don't necessarily feel like it, so it never hurts just to throw some extra grease in there when you're done getting everything put together. Just get the grease gun hooked up to it and shoot some grease in there just to make sure you've got enough. Just get that sway bar link installed. It was a little easier than the other side, but just because I'd done it before. And here I'm getting the hub aligned and installed with the dust cover on it. The dust cover does have a couple tabs to help with alignment as you're installing the wheel hub. So good view of the wheel hub there. It is very premium, much more heavy duty than the one that came off. And then I just kind of finish getting everything together. And here you can see using the pry bar to torque down. All right, we got to put all back together. I'm going to get it off the lift and get it over to Carlisle Auto and Tire so they can do the alignment and put the 33s on it. And then I'm actually going to come back in here and do a fluids change, but that won't make for good video content. We all know what that looks like. So here, I'll give you guys a quick tour around so you can see what it looks like in there. All right, so up here we've got our TTX upper control arm, nice and snug. Down here we've got our TTX lower control arm, the Dorman Extreme Duty tie rod end. We've got our extended travel CV axle, and then down over here we have our new Duralast Gold sway bar link with greasable fittings, greasable ball joints. So we should be a lot more durable with running 37-inch tires on here with these upgraded parts. So again, they don't give me any additional alignment control, but they definitely are an upgrade as far as quality over the OEM. So I'll be a lot more confident out there on the trails with the larger tires that I am not going to break anything. Oh, and then we can't forget, you can't see them in there, but I also have the TTX hubs and bearings in there. Again, those are rated with heavier duty bearings and better internals, better sealing, so it should definitely stand up a lot better. So that's everything. All right, so we've got the trail wheel here at the shop. I'm gonna go ahead and get the alignment done and the new tires put on. So they're a little bit backed up on alignment. So it's gonna be a minute before they can go on ahead and get that finished up. But let me go ahead and turn the camera around so you can see something right here. You know you're at a good shop when one of these is sitting out here, especially a Mach 1 that looks this clean. That is just gorgeous. So out here we've got Carlisle Auto Service Discount Tire. They've taken really good care of me. They went ahead and threw balance beads in those tires for me. They are a bargain tire. But they swear by them, at least for a brand if you're looking to save some money. So they were pretty happy with them and told me not to worry about it. But again, let's go on ahead and get around here to look at this Mach 1 again. So we got a Mach 1 hanging out here. Someone's getting their C4 worked on with the red top. Those are pretty rare from what I remember. And it's definitely not a stock exhaust on it. So getting things done. I'm gonna go ahead and have the missus pick me up and get ready to go. So I'll be back once the new tires are on, and I'll go on ahead and give you guys a good image of what it looks like. But check this out. Hunt. Those green really look good in there. Kind of a little bit of contrast to the red on the front and the blue of the truck itself. And then when you look at it from the side, you got those nice olive drab green upper control arms as well. So things are looking nice. All right, we're back in the shop. Went ahead and got the new tires put on. So they are little itty bitty guys. These are the old rims that came on the truck. There's some Havocs. I went down to the 17s, as you probably have seen in a previous video, just to get more meat on the tire, just to help with some of the trails out there in River Gorge. So those tires are now pretty much exclusively going to be off-roading tires. So I'm going to keep them in my climate-controlled barn on concrete. So hopefully that'll prevent any kind of dry rotting or anything like that. But these will be my everyday street tires, because this truck is used. The whole point of this truck is to be kind of my everything. Take it to the trails, take it to work, haul lumber, do projects. It's kind of everything all in one. So now that I've got a new set of tires for it that are better for the road and have a much higher mile warranty, I'll be a little bit more able to use it for things that aren't off-road related, and not driving around on balloon tires will be very helpful. So let's go ahead and flip it around, see a little bit better how we're looking. So these were some Delinte. Yep, we're gonna go with Delinte. These are the Delinte Centurion ATs. So they are an all-terrain tire, but they have a 65,000 mile warranty. So tread depth isn't what I would consider using on anything more than like a fire road or something like that. So plus we lost quite a bit of ground clearance going down to a 33 from a 37. So, but like I said, very grateful to Carlisle Auto and Tire for getting me in so quickly, doing the alignment for me. Especially, they didn't throw a fit after we just replaced all of the suspension components, the upper and lower control arms, the tie rod ends, all of that stuff. They said they had to do the alignment 3 times. So that is definitely a bit of an issue. So having to do the alignment 3 times after a DIY mechanic probably got it as wrong as could possibly be. very, very grateful to them. So great shop. If you're down here by Franklin, Springboro, Carlisle area, Carlisle Auto and Tire is a great place to go. So props to them. Thanks so much for helping out. And now I'm going to go on ahead and do an oil change, which oil changes are easy. So that hopefully will be much less dramatic on trying to get this worked out. So gonna go ahead and get that done, but that's the end of this video with doing the front end swap and getting the new tires. I'll have some more content. We're about to drive down to Big Bend, Texas, and I'm gonna take the off-road tires with us on a flatbed. That way we can go do some of the trails that are down there. I'll get some footage of that too. So thanks for watching. Peace. Have a good day.